You often hear about not attaching to anything, putting it all down, letting it all go. These are wonderful ideas, but I'm going to show you right now how to do that. Have a great day. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, so I just dropped off my daughter at school. It's not something I usually do. Maybe we can talk about that later. Before I head off for this hike, I have a few announcements. Some of you have been asking about the live stream hangout. I am going to continue that on this YouTube channel, and that's going to happen in January, most likely. Some of you have been asking about the No Nonsense Zen workshop. That's also going to happen at the beginning of the year. And let's see. In one of my videos, I said that when we get to 1,000 subscribers, that I'm doing a 24-hour live stream. That is true. So stay tuned for all that. If you want to keep updated, subscribe to this channel or jump on my email list. You can go to jasonquinnzen.com. and jump on the email list there, and I'll keep you updated. Okay, I'm going to drive off for the hike now. If you want to know where I end up today, come follow me. Well, there's a lot of people here today. Must be some kind of group hike or something like that. Anyways, let's see where we are. We're at Rancho Cañada del Oro Open Space Preserve. No drones, no pets, no smoking. That's all good. Let's go. Have to see what trail I'm going on here. Well, there was a trail I was supposed to go on, but I can't remember what it was. There's no internet or cell reception here, so as usual, I'll just walk. Wild turkeys. Stay safe, you all. Thanksgiving's coming up. Well, some trails are closed. Guess they're being worked on. So I think I'm gonna head that way. Can't go that way either. How about over there? Well, it is beautiful today. No matter what trail we take.
Yeah. Is that they just out on the creek?
Yep, yeah, that's our part of. Well, I'm not going to be lonely on this trail. More the merrier. Whew, that was a very good hike. It was over 3 miles long. It was an interesting morning, I'd have to say. First, I wasn't expecting to take my daughter to school. I just wanted to set up, get my coffee and head out the door. And then when I got here, there was a lot of people. And in my head, my idea, I thought it was going to be all by myself and it was going to be peace and quiet. So I think that's something to talk about. I had a similar experience yesterday where I woke up in the morning and my son's been sick, so he was in his room sleeping. My wife was going to take our daughter to school. And again, I was going to take a slow morning, like get my coffee going, plan my day, get some emails done. And as I'm starting to work to get into what I was doing, my wife calls me. And she says, I'm supposed to be driving Ella and some of the kids in her class on a field trip today. There was some miscommunication in the email exchange. She was expecting to take Chicky to the dog park and hang out with him for a little bit and then come back home. So when she's calling me, she told me that she didn't have the right car. She needed the other car so she can take these other kids. And in my head, I was like, oh, come on. I'm just getting into this. I don't want to do this. So I did get into the other car, drove to the school. We switched cars, drove the other car back home. Right when I entered the door, my son told me that he just threw up, and he's been throwing up since I was gone. So then I had to deal with that situation. So this is making me think about problems in our life. I think problems, first of all, are not really problems. Some people are going through some very serious issues right now. Maybe they have no food, families having no homes, families being killed in wars. A lot of people around the world are in very difficult situations. So when I look at my problems, they're actually not problems at all. In my book, I mentioned a story about a farmer who was having many problems. The weather wasn't cooperating with him. His neighbors were always gossiping about him. His kids didn't believe in him. His wife was always checking him and bossing him around. So he thought he had a lot of problems and wanted something or someone to solve them. So he went to the Buddha and told the Buddha about all of his problems. And the Buddha patiently listened, shaking his head. And the Buddha said, there's not much I can do for you. Human beings have 83 problems. And even if you solve several of those problems, several others will take their place. So I can't help you with the 83 problems. And then the farmer said, then what good is your teaching then, Buddha? And the Buddha said, well, I can't help you with the 83 problems, but I can help you with the 84th problem. And that is, you don't want any problems. I believe in my book, I was talking about when I first started practicing, I was hoping that Zen would solve my problems. But what I realized with the experience of sitting meditation is not to make things a problem. There's always the truth of what's happening, and then there's our narrative or story that we add to it. That narrative and story is what causes us a lot of problems in our lives. The more I started seeing things as they are, you hear the saying, it is what it is, right? That's true. But what does that actually mean? And how do we see things the way they are? How do we see things as truth rather than putting all of our energy and adding all of these stories and narratives to it? So I think that's where meditation practice can help. You often hear about not attaching to anything, putting it all down, letting it all go. These are wonderful ideas, but I'm going to show you right now how to do that. The first thing you want to do is just stop and take a deep breath. Breathing in, let your lower belly expand. Breathing out twice as long, letting this lower belly contract. This is letting all of our energy come down. So if we're putting a lot of energy into our thoughts and feelings, I don't like this. I don't want to take my daughter to school. I don't want to deal with my son throwing up. I don't want to do this, right? All of this energy that we put into this moment, and this energy is causing us stress, difficulties, confusion. Just taking a deep breath, breathing out twice as long, can melt all of these things in this moment. Put your attention to what you hear. So right now the birds are chirping. There's somebody over there with the saw. The wind is blowing through the trees. Seeing the blue sky. Noticing the different colors of trees. All of our attention to what we see, what we hear, what we smell. Now our attention is here in this moment. I could put my attention to all of the things that happened that I didn't like, that didn't go my way, all the problems that I have that are not actually problems. I could put my energy into those things, and that takes me away from this moment. It creates a separation, a disconnection from what's happening. So meditation practice just means putting our attention to what's happening in the moment, to what I'm seeing, to what I'm hearing, to what I'm smelling. Now, thoughts and feelings may still appear, but I'm not putting my energy into them. So this is the simplest and clear way of letting it go. When I do this kind of practice, in sitting meditation, when I'm driving, when I'm with family and friends and loved ones, when I'm working, not only do I get to see this moment clearly, but also I can see that I'm in a pretty good situation. And I would guess that probably many of you watching are in a pretty good situation. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of people going through some very difficult times right now. So this kind of practice of putting our attention into the moment can really see the bigger picture. That our problems are not really problems. That everything that appears is just what it is. And if we can see it clearly, then we can respond clearly. Those are my thoughts for the day. Let me know what you think about all of this. And also, I have a question for you. How do you let it all go right now in this moment? If this is clear, then your whole life is clear. Okay, I hope you're all doing well and hope to see you very soon.